The tale of the tape tonight shows the 20-year age span. Old George and young Tommy, 256 pounds for Foreman, 226 pounds for Tommy Morrison. You see the reach is just about the same, interestingly enough, although Foreman is a couple of inches taller.
Let's take a look at the punch stat numbers. You can see that George Foreman is the busier of the two, surprisingly enough, and also the more accurate. So that looks to be in George's favor. And now let's take a look at the jabs. George by far throws more jabs, lands more on a higher percentage. So all the punch stat numbers are in George Foreman's favor.
The WBO rules, as we saw earlier in the evening, the 3 knockdown rule, the significant one as always. 3 knockdowns in 1 round would end the fight in favor of the guy doing the knocking down. Only the referee can stop the fight, although we did hear Flip Pomansky influence the end of the De La Hoya Dorsey fight. And the count continues after the bell, except in the final round. George Foreman looking relaxed as always, and watching him work out this past week, we saw more of the same, sparring with several different sparring partners, standing throughout a 10-round workout, and then auctioning off his training gloves for charity following the workout, and signing about 100 autographs and allowing everybody who wanted to have a picture taken with him to do so. And to Tommy Morrison's credit, he picked up on that theme and did the same during his workouts at the Las Vegas Hilton. Morrison wearing a white baseball hat a la Jim Courier, and for his fans, of course, the hope that the same result won't occur to him as happened to Jim Courier at the French Open, where Sergi Bruguera was the upset winner. Foreman looking very relaxed, as we said, and that is something you can expect. He has been to the big dance, as Gil Clancy has said many, many times before. In fact, Gil Clancy's been there with him a few. Let's go up now to ring announcer Michael Buffer for our pre-fight introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, in association with the Colonel's Secret Recipe at Kentucky Fried Chicken, present 12 rounds of boxing for the World Boxing Organization Heavyweight Championship of the World. This bout is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman Dr. Elias Ghanem, Commissioners Nat Carasali, Bruce Lane, Luther Mack, and Dr. James Nave, Chief Inspector Mark Ratner, WBO President, former light heavyweight champion Jose Torres, WBO Supervisor ringside Alberto Aleman. Physicians in attendance, lead physician Dr. Flip Pomansky, Dr. James Wish Game, and Dr. Robert Boy. The timekeepers are James Cavan and Mike Lasella. The scoring for this bout would be done on a 10-point must system, and the 3 judges assigned at ringside are Patricia Jarman, Jerry Roth, and Dalby Shirley. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Mills Lane. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of the Las Vegas Hilton, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with stars and bars, weighing in at 226 pounds, this knockout artist has a professional record of 36 victories with 32 KOs against only 1 defeat. He comes here tonight from Kansas City. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the number 2 ranked heavyweight in the world, Tommy the Duke Morrison. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trunks and weighing in at 256 pounds. We have the 1968 Olympic gold medalist, who now as a professional is 72-3 with 67 KOs, which is the greatest knockout ratio in heavyweight history. Ladies and gentlemen, from Houston, Texas, presenting the former heavyweight champion of the world, Big George Foreman.
George Foreman with a just happy to be here smile for the crowd as he was introduced. Now a bit of a scowl comes onto his face as he gets the game face on. Mills Lane awaits the two fighters.
All right, gentlemen, Angelo, and if he goes right here, I'm not going to call it low. Right here is going to be all right. Now, you've already had your instructions one time. This is for the championship of the world. I expect a tough, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Any questions here? Any questions here? Let's get it on.
George Foreman and his camp did not want Mills Lane to be the referee. They wanted Carlos Padilla. The commission voted otherwise. Mills Lane considered one of the really outstanding referees, and perhaps for George, as suggested by one of the local writers here, a little too tough. In other words, not a kind of guy that George might influence to stop a fight when he wants it stopped. Round number one.
Here we go, Tim. I think we're going to find out early just how Tommy Morrison handles George's left jab and that little pushing movement that George has.
Well, and speaking of the left jab, you feel it's something that Morrison does pretty well and should do more of, especially in this fight.
Well, he said he was going to use his jab more in this fight, Tim. And he does have a very good solid jab when he uses it. Now you can see George pushing him off with those pushing tactics as soon as the fight starts.
Watching for signs of tightness or the stage fright we referred to on the part of Tommy Morrison, who knows this is a breakthrough fight, although he does not accept the fact that should he lose, that his career is over or that he should be dropped to the bottom of the barrel among the heavyweights. Most people feel he needs a win and a good showing here to be considered a serious title contender for the big guys, Bo and Lewis.
Good left hook on the side of George Foreman's head by Tommy Morrison. That got George's attention. Now I'm surprised that George isn't leading with that jab a little more. He's chasing Morrison, but he's not throwing anything.
Well, a sign of Foreman's considerable bulk and strength pushing back Tommy Morrison, the 226-pounder. Good right hand by Morrison. There were rumors that Morrison was knocked down in training by his sparring partner. He denies that. There were rumors that he had a bad right hand. He said it was a sore shoulder, and it was 5 weeks ago, and that he's 100% fit. Foreman, on the other hand, has been bothered by a sore right elbow in the last several months, and he claims to be over that. He accepts all of these little aches and pains as just signs of old age.
And Tim, so far, as I had mentioned earlier, George Foreman is just walking in, but he's not throwing any punches. He's not moving in behind that left jab at all. Good left hook to the body by Morrison.
Body attack very much in Morrison's strategy. Let's see if he can stay with it.
But Morrison has been using that left jab this round, as he told us he was going to do. And again, big right hand by Morrison.
That was a good lead. He saw the opportunity.
And again, you know, George is just walking in, not punching, Tim.
Under 30 seconds to go in round one. The more active Morrison in this first round. Combination just grazing the chin of Foreman. There's a good left to the ear. Foreman feinting, never delivered a punch. Another right lands to the head of Foreman. The end of round one.
Get a little close to him. Keep your body.
Take it easy. Very good. The jabs start working pretty. Guys looking to sucker you, just keep your hands up. That's all it's all about, really. Nothing there. Give me the best ring. Everything pretty. Everything pretty, George. I see it.
Angelo Dundee in George Foreman's corner.
7-7-2s to body, 7-7-2-1s.
Relax, baby. Doing good.
Any combinations, go to the body first, come up to the head. Bring his hands down. Doing a nice job, real nice job. Good and relaxed, good and relaxed. Keep that seven coming back high. When you feel yourself in the corner, get out of it.
Well, they gave Tommy Morrison the area code and the entire international number over there. Gil, decipher that for us.
Well, the only thing I know about is the 7 is a jab. Outside of that, I don't know.
Well, they
I
gave
get
him a bunch
lost
of
in the area
sevens.
codes. Now let's see if George changes his strategy at all. In his first round, Tim, he looked like a fighter that all of a sudden got old because he just didn't seem to react properly. Looking for the opening, but he's not firing. You know, that's what Joe Louis said at the end of his career. He said, I can see the opening, but by the time the message gets to my brain, the opening's gone. Well, let's see if George comes out of that doldrum now and starts snapping that good stiff left jab.
Good shot by Morrison off the clinch. That's a very mature play by Morrison there. And he scored it.
And that was one of those times when George did not push that left shoulder of Morrison's back.
Morrison looks very concentrated, very poised. I hesitate to say relaxed at this point.
No, you can't relax when you're in there with Big George. Morrison already has a little lump under his right eye.
Good right hand. That snapped back the head of Foreman.
That wobbled him a little bit, Tim. And what George is doing right now, if he keeps doing this, he's going to really make Morrison work and hopefully tire Morrison out because George is not throwing too many punches at all.
We're in round 2, scheduled for 12. WBO title at stake, but much more to both fighters.
Good left hook by Morrison. Good combination to the body.
Roundhouse right hand lead fell short for Morrison.
Why he needed to throw that punch, I'll never know, Tim.
Those are the kinds of costly possible mistakes that he and his trainer Tommy Vergitz hoped to avoid, so they couldn't make mistakes against Foreman.
Morrison pointed out to us when we had the interview with him that he says George has to set. It takes him a long time to get off. He said, so I'm going to get off first and beat him to the punch.
There's a sample right there.
And that's
good
what
job.
he's been doing since the fight started.
And a good stiff jab from Morrison. Now Morrison looks a little more loose to me, Gil.
Yes, he does. He seems to be saying, oh, look, I'm having everything my own way.
Tried the uppercut. There's a good right hand from Foreman. His best punch so far.
And Morrison now has forgot the jab.
Yes, he led with the left hook. It served to back up Foreman, but did leave himself open.
Fine.
Damn, where you going? Just trying to get around.
Okay. Deep breath.
Foreman standing up as customary in the corner, denying that the problem is he can't get up if he sits down.
He's just 7 a little more. Puff that baby up.
Yeah. You waited in the corner and you let him get off first.
Let's take a look at this replay here. Now they're coming out of a clinch. George pushes him, but doesn't push him hard enough. Gets nailed with a good left hook. There's that right hand, and that did wobble George. George's legs did a little dance.
Well, he had a clean shot with that right hand down the pipe. His best punch of the round. Morrison has thrown 104 punches to 40 by Foreman so far through 2 rounds.